Hey friends, welcome to the Book of Joe. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Joe Daddy. So, quick update. We haven't had our baby yet. However, we do have an appointment tomorrow. My wife's blood pressure is elevated. There is a high likelihood, I think, that we decide tomorrow that it's probably time to deliver baby. But we'll find out tomorrow if that's the case or not. It's possible they say, let's go through the weekend and we'll wait till next week. I mean, we're past 37 weeks. The baby's, we're at that point where we're at full term. And with her blood pressure now starting to creep into like the 140, 100s, I can see them saying it's not worth the risk to keep waiting, and it's time to take the baby or to bring the baby. So we will see how that goes this weekend. So I thought, let's go ahead and get something made real quick. Now, I didn't want to do back-to-back videos of Joe Daddy and doing the same segments. I kind of wanted to keep them separated, and I certainly could be talking about and giving my thoughts on the situation in Florida, but I really don't want to delve into that right now. I'm trying to keep positive thoughts in the world and stay positive. So we're doing a Joe Daddy, and what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about technology in our nursery. So let's head on into the nursery and take a look at some of the technology we have, and I don't know why I keep going like a fool. But anyway, we're going to head into the nursery. So I wanted to talk about some technology. So I'm here in the nursery, and the first thing I want to talk about is the Owlet. So this little device, we haven't quite set this up yet. We're going to wait till the baby gets here to set this up. But this little device is a little sock that goes around the baby's foot and actually measures the oxygen saturation as well as the heart rate and feeds that information back to the base, which then feeds it back to your smartphone. So what this can actually do is alert us if there is a problem, if baby stops breathing, if baby goes into like a tachycardic event, we can be notified via the smartphone and the base that something is going on. Now, this is just to give a level of comfort. Now, it's funny, when you do the research, it says this does not help prevent SIDS. However, I'm guessing they just have to say that because this for me feels like it's just that little bit of comfort to know that everything is okay with baby while you try to sleep. I can tell you, I have a friend whose son had a situation where his heart started beating rapidly, called tachycardia, and they were able to find out before it became a major issue, and it actually saved the baby's life. And if you ever go on the Owlet's Facebook page or on their website, you'll see all sorts of reviews on this that just say, thank you, you saved my life. Hopefully this never has to save Riley's life, but I think this is something that's just going to help us have that little bit of peace of mind when when Riley's sleeping. And I'm actually excited to try this. Again, it's just a little sock that goes over the foot that then relays information on baby's oxygen levels as well as heart rate. So pretty cool stuff. Now, the other piece of technology I have in here, I actually have it where you really can't see it, is the Google Home. I'm going back and forth between adding Alexa to the mix or getting a smaller Google and moving that back to the kitchen. But right now, I have Google in here for a couple reasons. One, I can tell Google, hey Google, play lullabies using Google Play.
Okay, here's a Google Play music station called Sweet Lullabies.
And then you can actually play lullabies. Now, I have it set up to use Pandora as default, and Pandora is not as good with music. It just doesn't do well. Also, if you just say, hey Google, play lullabies, she's going to do something weird. She plays like her own singing lullabies, which I think are weird. But another thing I can do, hey Google, stop. So there's another piece of technology in here that I actually like, and I want to expand on it a little bit. I don't know. Originally, my thought was I watched another YouTuber called Dadverb, and Dadverb showed this, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I wanted it for the house, but then I found out that it's expensive, and that's color-changing light bulbs. So right here in this lamp, I have a color-changing light bulb. I have a couple in the bedroom as well. I've used them on set when I'm filming, which actually has been pretty cool. That has been really useful. But I had read that different light waves can affect sleep, can affect concentration, and can affect mood. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to try. Now I can tell you, we've had them in the bedroom a couple nights. My wife and I have used them. I think it works, but it's really hard to say. It might be very gimmicky, but I personally think it's really cool. So I can actually change the lights a couple ways. One, I can open up an app on my phone, and I can swing over here, and I can just change, to specific lights. I can change colors, you know, for instance, if I just want to, you know, do like pink in her room, I can do that using it. Additionally, I can also say, hey, Google, turn Riley's room to white.
Okay, changing the
And
Riley's room
she
to
can
white.
do that. Another issue, so that's another use for the Google Home that I have. Again, Alexa can do the same thing. So if you're thinking between Google and Alexa, all of these things work with each other. So there's not one that's better than the other. The other thing I like about Google that I can do is, hey Google, play white noise.
This is the sound of white noise.
Now I don't know if you can hear that. Hey Google, turn yourself up. So I don't know if you can fully hear that or not, but it is said that in the book that we're reading, The Happiest Baby on the Block, that white noise, that a baby should be sleeping to white noise for the first year. It helps them soothe, it helps them through teething, and it's really something for a whole year that they would like to have. So, but white noise has to be loud enough. Now, every device in my nursery right now does white noise. The bassinet does white noise. My FisherPrice nightlight does white noise. I mean, my camera that I'm going to show you in a second does white noise. But there is the problem is sometimes the speakers can be too small and make more of a hissing sound and not a low white noise sound, which the Google Home can do. Same thing with Alexa, she can do it as well. But this is something you could just have running all night long that will help soothe the baby. Those are some of the key things I'm using with the Google Home. Again, I'm a real big fan of these color changing lights, which I showed you. The thing I have in here is my camera system, right? Now I ended up going with Project Nursery's camera. And there are other cameras out there. You could actually probably find a cheaper system if you were just to go straight with a security camera. But what I really liked was this little monitor guy that then became useful around the house. Now, I can tell you though, having now used it a little bit in the house, I'm not as impressed with this application as I am with what it is on the phone. I wish this was a little bit more reliable. It tends to be a little bit more sluggish and sometimes has a hard time connecting the camera, but once it's connected, it's actually a really nice piece. And plus, this camera will just eat up the battery if you're trying to always watch a live feed, whereas this is designed for that. So I'll be interesting to see how well this works, how much I use it. But there are some kind of neat things. As I mentioned, everything in the nursery does sound. It's a two-way communicator. So if I'm in another room, I can talk to Riley. If I hear Riley, this can do motion detection. I can control the camera. The camera is actually right here over my shoulder. And as I said, everything in this nursery does music. So if I wanted to play some music, like I could play I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, the video camera plays music. I could have every sound in the world turned on in here, and baby would probably be so overstimulated she wouldn't know what to do. When you're using the app, it works really well. It's every time I swing my hands, I see it in the camera. There's not a delay. There's a little bit of a delay here. But that's another piece of technology. I think it's important now. I mean, it's so accessible for parents to be able to have a camera sitting up in their nursery, recording everything and seeing everything. So that's something that's kind of cool. I'm curious to see how I like this in the end. And then eventually you can actually add additional cameras. So even if even though they're nursery cameras, you could eventually add additional cameras for other rooms. And the other thing, and I haven't figured out how to do this. Apparently, I can give grandma and grandpa or nana and papa, or I can give them access supposedly to the camera. I haven't worked with that, and I'm not 100% entirely sure how that works, but apparently you can do that. Additionally, you can record and do pictures and then send them to the web. So like right now, for instance, I'm actually recording on this. I don't know, it's a cool little feature. And then it stores it in the cloud, supposedly. I haven't fully figured everything out. We just got this up and working with the idea that maybe baby is coming a little sooner than we anticipated. Let's move on to the next piece of technology. Now, we just got this last night. Even though we have the monitor system, we kind of felt like we would still want the Walkie Talkie system, so to speak, the two-wave audio, especially when we're traveling. I don't want to be packing up the camera. I like the camera where it's at. It's nice and settled. Don't have to deal with that, and I can just pull out one of these Walkie Talkies. So I picked these up yesterday. I'm sure these will work great. It's a two-way audio communicator, so it allows you to hear when baby moves or makes noise, and then allows you to speak back to baby. So the last piece of technology that I want to show you in the nursery, and then there's one more thing I have in the kitchen I want to show you, and that'll wrap up my little technology video. Again, I'm not a parent. I haven't actually had Riley here yet, so all of this may be silly stuff. You guys may be like laughing at me. That's okay, because that's what learning is. All right, so the last piece of technology I want to show you guys here in the nursery is my Deluxe Soother from FisherPrice. Again, everything in here makes noise. I wasn't planning on using the Google Home to control everything in here, and then I thought maybe I'll still put a Google Dot or the Google Mini in here, the Home. But it's this little FisherPrice guy, and it's pretty cool because it, again, connects through my phone using the Smart Connect app. It has a night light on the top, little animals. It also plays all sorts of noise. My wife and I, when we work in here, we could actually turn the lights down, kick on this little guy. It's very soothing. It has timers. It allows you to do some things. For me, I think it's going to be a nice little night light for Riley. Let me turn on all these night lights. See if you can see them. Hey Google, turn off Riley's room.
Okay, turning off the Riley's room.
And you can see it does this. You can control the colors with it. I know you really can't see me, but you can control the colors. You can control the sounds. It does music and it does effects. Hey Google, turn on Riley's room.
You got it, turning the Riley's room on. And
so it gives you those things. Now, I still have, you keep seeing me reach over the light, I still have an overhead over here. It's not all just that little lamp. But it's a neat little, another little piece of technology that should help soothe Riley if she's ever fussy or going through anything. And so those are some of the technologies I'm using in the nursery. There's a couple more things I'd like to get in here. I'd like to put some of the color changing lights around the crib, maybe behind the changing table. I think just a little bit more wouldn't hurt. Like I said, I have 3 more bulbs that I use in the bedroom, that I'm using in the bedroom that I can move anywhere I want later. But for now, that's it for the nursery. Why don't I take you and show you one last neat... Okay, so the last thing I want to show you guys is in the kitchen is the Baby Brezza. I've watched a lot of review videos on it. Seems like people really like it. The biggest challenge is that inside of here are a lot of pieces like this that have to be set exactly right, including the measuring guy in there, which can be difficult. And so that's some challenges I've heard that people haven't liked about it. But that being said, I'm excited to have the Baby Brezza because my wife, because of the kidney transplant, is on immune suppressed drugs. And we've been told it's probably not advisable to breastfeed, although I think we're still looking into our options. But we are planning as if though we are going to be using formula for all feedings because it may not be possible for her to breastfeed because of the transplant. So we got the Baby Brezza, which is nice because you fill it up with water, you fill this up with formula, you select how many ounces you want, and you hit go, and you get perfect like portions of formula and water mixed together at the right temperature every single time. So at 3 in the morning when we're waking up having to feed Riley, we're not going to be trying to figure out how to get the water the right temperature. It's like when we make coffee, we do it a lot. We use our Keurig. This is basically the baby Keurig for the formula. So this is another one of those another piece that we're excited about. I think is going to come in super handy for us. That is the last piece of technology in the kitchen I wanted to show you. All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you're still here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like today's video, throw up those thumbs. And why don't you guys leave me a comment below on what some of your favorite technologies are that you've used for your babies. I'd love to hear about them because I'd love to see which ones I can incorporate into the nursery going forward. Again, I thank you all. I got to thank you all after that last video. So many kind words and so much support. I truly appreciate it. It's possible that by the time this video gets posted, there's a little baby Riley here. It's also possible that that's not the case and life goes on and we move into next week. And maybe I will make a video at some point that's not all about the baby. But right now, until next time, my friends, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I think it's going to be right here. I don't know. It's going to be somewhere here on the screen. Check out some of my other videos. I really appreciate all the support, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.